Alright, so this is going to be my monthly review for February 2026 on my live account. Overall P&L minus 776.05 for the month. I've got Tradezella here, and I've also printed out the statement onto pages. So I'm going to go through each of the trades, my learnings, my positives. Going to update these stats here, although I might not even really need that at the moment since we have it on Tradezella. And this is mainly, I think I might just keep this spreadsheet more to, just positives and learnings. Like I say, this is still here from the previous month. I've just brought these in for this month, and also going to add another tab there. Notes, PDL, PDH. Right, so off the back of my last video, I said that 26. Hold on a minute. Something ain't right here. Let me just sort this out. So it's actually just colored all of the exact lines the same color. See, this is, I'm still getting used to pages, so I'm just going to swap that to red, like so. That's much better. So yeah, it was a red month for me, like I said in my last video, and I'm going to change these afterwards as well. Pretty much bumped up the capital this month just because I had some capital to add, and I think towards the end of adding this, well, since I added this capital, psychology, a little bit of adapting, it's obviously larger position sizes, tiny bit easier to spiral, but I wouldn't necessarily say this was a spiral. As you can see on the 26th, which was Thursday, I took 3 trades, 3 losers. So these two, this one was 9 with the model. .5 standard deviation bounce idea. So you can see here 3 different models, all longs and all incorrect on the 26th. And yeah, ultimately it looks like it was a bigger red month because on paper it is, but it is also to do with like the amount of capital in the account. I'm just going to gradually keep growing that, so there will be learning curves along the way, but other than that, overall it's not a bad month for me. We see we've got this from the 8 AM break and retest, and then we had what, 1, 2, 3, 4 losing trades, and then obviously two break evens. So the risk management side of things is still okay, just for the fact that, what is this, 345, 230, we got, 230 there, 126 there. So those 3 trades still 356. Yeah, so we were still in profit for the month after 3 losing trades in a row. And then, yeah, it just sort of went a bit more downhill, just execution a little bit off. And ultimately, that's up to me. So I think, see, I need to have a better look at this. So for the month, you can see that was quite a lot of trades. It was the same amount of trades as last month. It was 14 trades. And you can see what, 2 winners, 2 break evens, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 losers. So I think ultimately what I want to start working on going forward is my average drawdown per trade, or like when I am in drawdown, what is the average that I'm at before, you know, a winner comes in. And can I go into this? Let's have a look. So from Tradezella, I don't have much experience with it, so I'm still learning. So take a bit of time to learn my way around it, where everything is. But what you can do is you can journal. As I said here, Friday 27th of Feb, no trades for me today, month end. Last night took a further loss using the PDH model. I'm fine with this loss, so I can identify that it was the hourly rejection that meant the price was still to continue bearish after a heavy bearish day. Quite some work to do over the weekend to prepare for March. This is the first step. First journal entry on Tradezella. Writing this at work at the moment. I'll arrange to add in my rules for each strategy when I have some time. So pretty much what I need to do is add in my strategy, add in my rules. So we're going to do 8 a.m. 8 a.m. opening range break and retest. Entry criteria. 8 a.m. 15 min candle marked. Look for also mark out previous session highs and lows. And then we're going to do mark out previous session highs and lows. Wait for price to break from the range. Does the higher time frame bias match break? Actually, no, the higher time frame bias doesn't necessarily need to match. So we will then do no entries. I'll put, is it 9:25 yet? We'll say 2 candles of confirmation respecting top or bottom of range. Midpoint entry equals limit order 5-point SL 15-point TP. No trades past 10:15. Simple. So that is that. Cool. So we have that. So now I can successfully calculate the average total net P&L using that, and I can apply different trades depending on what I've done for that. Can I also add another one? Yeah. So create from scratch. There's going to be PDL, PDH, high time frame, point of interest, tapped, high time frame, point of interest, retest, and sweep. Then we're looking at IFVG passed with reaction from previous daily high, previous daily low, valid, breaker structure required, entry of fair value gap formed after BOS, entry on retest of fair value gap. Simple. I'm not going to do that. Should do a different color. Okay, never mind. So let me just edit that actually. Can I not? Oh, rules. There we go. Add rule. Target. Opposite. Previous daily high slash previous daily low. Or the other way around. Okay. So we now have those in place. Obviously, I haven't taken any trades other than, actually, can I add one? How do we do this? Can I see the executions? How do we view executions here? Entry time 9:11. This is the wrong trade. Fuck. Right. Move me over. Put me in the top corner actually. Let's do that. Right. Wrong trade. My bad. Let me go back here. This is the one. Yeah, that's the one. Right. So that trade was, did I delete it? Oh, wow. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, so that was this trade here. So our high time frame point of interest, this is going to be also a trade recap here, was, where are we looking here? So we tapped 4 hour fair value gap, broke retest. So we did actually get the retest on this. So we're going to do that. And unfortunately, it just was a loser. The main point to note here was, so let me just go through it. Price came down into that 4 hour fair value gap, broke, retested, and that retest was me getting stopped out. So pretty much as you can see, in the PM session, we had an inverse fair value gap here on the 15-minute. We also had, I think, a 5-minute. No, was it a 3? So we had the 3-minute and the 15-minute inverse fair value gap. The entry was a little higher, and we had this fair value gap, and I went long here just because price was moving nicely. And I think on the 5, what is this blue one here? So another 15. Yeah, so we had another 15-minute fair value gap here. So the entry was valid. We had this high, and I wanted to see that broken on the 30-minute because we did break above this here and here. So that was like the first target really. And as we can see on the 30-minute chart, similar to what happened in the trade earlier in the day, price sort of hovered around here. And at this point, in hindsight, I should have closed the trade because it wasn't clear break. Even if we go into the hourly, you can see price is just trading back into this bearish fair value gap to continue down lower. That carries across. Look at the bodies of the candles here. And from that, we continue lower. Now, that was the trade. I'm not mad about this one because it was just like we'd sold off all day. I was thinking, you know, maybe going into next week, we see this carry over and we target these highs. That was the daily high on the day. But obviously, if we say Friday, which would be next day, that would be the previous daily high. That would have been a 3-to-1. So it is what it is. My mistake was not closing once seeing this reaction. Price sort of rejected from this high rather than breaking up to this. This would have been my break-even point. And yeah, ultimately got stopped out on that. So yeah, we're not actually going to mark that one there. So that is one there. But nonetheless, overall on the month, there are lots of positives to take away. There are lots of learning points to take away. The executions need to improve. Like quite a few just break-even days really that just weren't great. So if we go meet this, quick insights into my reasoning. Is that the one I just literally clicked on? Stuck to my rules, fact head. Red folder, noting how on high time frame point. Right, okay, so this video is all over the place at the moment, but this is just my real process. So we're just going to delete all of these. Right. No trades on red folder Fridays. That's positive. I stuck to my rules there. One trade max per day still didn't happen. Cut that, paste that there. Still to be followed. So I'm going to mark these in bold because they're still there. I'm also going to take this out because it's been going on for a while. But another positive is risk management serves as a strong point to cover against losers. May only need to take 1 to 3 trades a month. Like, for example, at the start of the month, as you can see, took those 3 winners. I could have been done for the month. But I continued to trade. And as the losses accumulate, you know, you want to make back what you had. And then we just see this. So reducing the number of trades in a month is usually good. It means I'm waiting more and being more patient with it. Like if we go back all the way to November last year, 4 trades that month, you know, 1 trade, well, yeah, 4 trades that month, no trades in the last week. And then, you know, you see 1 winner, 1 partial, 2 break evens pretty much. And that was a good month. That was a £442 net P&L. Whereas if we look at months where I traded more, December, October wasn't too bad, but it still added up. September was a bit of a red month. This was after I came back from Thailand. And yeah, granted, like this was a different model that I was trading at the time. I don't need to be trading every single day. I just need to trade when the conditions allow me. Don't need to trade the ORB every Tuesday to Thursday. Learnings. Wednesday is my strongest day. Now, I know this because if I go back to Tradezella, you know, winner here, granted we had a loser here, £5 break even on that Wednesday. Wednesdays tend to be strong days of the week for me. You see none in December, Wednesday, November, Wednesday. And I think, is there a way to get insights? Whoops, let's not do that. Resources, reports, overview. Compare. So if we just look in general, so this is February overall. My average winning trade was £73 and my average losing trade being £127. Isn't great. Maximum consecutive losses, 5 losses. Maximum consecutive wins, I know from historic data that a 3 win streak tends to be enough for me, and that is where I should really call it, step away. So I might implement that. 3 win streak max, step away for the month. Simple. I think Thursdays are weak. no, Tuesdays are hit or miss. Thursdays are not as strong. Now, I'm trying to think where I actually saw that. It was when I was actually creating the account on here. So I need to figure out where I can find that. My account. What is that? No. I don't know where I can see it. It's strange. Days. So if I can do average hold time. Okay, so this will be something that I need to have a look at really, just to figure out where I saw these insights. Profitability. I think I can do it on TradeView. Apparently not. But yeah, anyway, right, I've been spending too much time here. If we look here, the main thing is Tuesdays aren't actually as strong as I had initially thought they are. We can go through months and months here. A lot of losers on Tuesdays, whereas I had initially thought Tuesdays were pretty strong. The model does play out on these days. Granted, this was a different model that I was using in 2025. I think different months provide different things depending on the news as well. But Wednesday does seem to be my strongest. If we just take a quick look, wins, nothing there. Win, nothing there, nothing there. Wednesday, again, Wednesday. So yeah, going into this month, I'm going to be much less frequent with the trades. My target is less than 14 trades because, as we can see here, both months I've taken 14 trades. What we can do is we can, what have I done there? Command Z that. Right, I don't know why it's doing it like that. But this is going to go in orange. Orange. Orange again. And then all of these greens are going in the buys. Like so. No. God, numbers is so shit compared to fucking Excel. Right. So if you look at the overall candle this month on the daily chart, actually, let's go on the weekly chart. It's been very, very choppy, and you can see, it's been an overall bearish month, and I would not be surprised if price drops down here, especially with all of the geopolitical stuff going on. There's been rockets firing off across Iran and Israel and all of this. And no one really knows how it's going to escalate. I would anticipate a big drop this month. So I'm going to be very cautious, but there is still going to be opportunities. Ultimately, I believe this will be another bearish month. You see, we've got all this accumulation over the last few weeks, and there's relative equal lows here that will get manipulated, maybe retest from here further down, and ultimately there is all of this here as well. So we will have to see how it all plays out. I'm anticipating my eToro portfolio to take quite a big hit going into tomorrow's open. Like I say, as you can already see, big opening gap there. Gold has gapped upwards big time. And yeah, it really does make me wish that I had purchased some physical gold when we were sitting around this sort of price, or even this sort of price here, because we'd be up quite a nice amount. But you learn in it. So yeah, back to where we were. So we have all of these. We got 1, 2. How many winners did we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's lower this month. Longs, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Shit. Longs. How many wins from longs? 1, 2. 3. Okay. And then shorts obviously would have been 3. 1, 2, 3. With but 2. So granted, this isn't taking into account break-evens really. Break-evens shouldn't really count as wins, but just for a basic overview, we can see going in line with the higher time frame bias is certainly more profitable, with 11 longs and only 3 wins, and 3 shorts and 2 wins. Granted, one of them was a break-even. 1 break-even. And then the longs, we had 1, 2 break-even. No. 2 break-even. So learning high time frame bias should determine trade bias and basis for ideas. And what I mean by that is, just looking at percentages here, like I say, bearish month, you'd be looking for shorts. Well, you would typically be looking for shorts, and the numbers give us that proof. Higher percentage. Granted, there was a lower number of shorts, but if we also look at the net P&L for the month, 11 longs in a bearish month has clearly not paid off. So I'm going to be aligning the higher time frame bias a little bit more. This month I would anticipate more bearishness with everything going on. So ideally shorts will probably be more the shout of what we're looking for. Granted, there will be days where you take longs depending on what the model provides. And yeah, we'll just have to see how we go. But what else do we have on here? One trade max per day. Yeah, learned from that. No late trades. Gold, haven't really touched as much. Free trades, overtrading, again, proven to be dangerous. And what is positive? I don't know. Do Tradezella now in action for more detailed journaling. So we got that. That is a big positive. Like actually being able to see all of my data all the way back from when I started trading on this account is, I feel like this is going to prove to be a big help over the long run. Just analyzing, win rate percentage, the average win-loss ratio, it's just going to help. And just being able to see that in the week, just paint an actual picture of what my trading week is looking like, what my trading month is looking like, will be beneficial. And yeah, I mean, ultimately it's one of those. We just have to see, really. I think if we come back here, yeah, a lot of longs this month. But generally, I was happy with the model in terms of how the model actually played out. I was happy with it. More comfortable with it. More comfortable with the model, with the open range breakout. What else is there? Understanding that bounces and rejections, if disrespected, can trigger a flip in bias. So yeah, what I mean by that is, say for example, we come here, we go back to this other trade here. Initially I was looking for longs here. There would have been a trade on in this range, but ultimately, London high gets swept, trade into this high time frame point of interest. The break price shows no respect for these London lows, where you would typically look for like your first bounce. Trade straight through the Asia low, and at that point, if prices just disrespected these two levels, there's a chance that you could see it take the next one, or if we've got the lows that are untested in the previous day, then they can also be a potential target. I don't have the drawings on here anymore, but basically these two lows were untested, and they were something that I was looking to see taken in Wednesday's trading, and price just continued up, and then it was revisited on Thursday with the reversal to then trade lower in continuation with the rest of the weekly profile. of which the model would have played out beautifully on Friday. This is 8 a.m., 15-minute candle, price trades down, pull back, tap the model, tap the midpoint even, and then with the usual 3-to-1 risk to reward, if we drop into the 1 minute, you get 1 tap, 2 tap, bang, TP, and then price comes up. The range of the candle was 1, 2, 8 points. So yeah, that was pretty textbook, but red folder Fridays, I'm not going to trade it. That's just reminded me, actually, I can add that into strategies. 8 a.m. open range breakout. Rules. Can I move them? Oh, can I not move them? That's kind of peak, right? So what we'll do is quickly do this. Range. How do you do less than? Less than 10 points. Cool. So we got them in place. I think when I go into notebook and I log a new day, should be able to put notes on each of the trades, sessions recap, and you can also do like a checklist on your trading day, like as you do it. So when you do start my day here, it then brings up the checklist for whichever model you want to trade, and yeah, so that's going to be helpful as well, just actually having it on screen with me whilst I'm in the markets, hold myself accountable. Is my model playing out? Is the entry criteria actually there, or is it there like, am I just seeing it as being there and just getting too caught up in it? No doubt there will be days where the full entry criteria isn't there and the trade still plays out. But yeah, ultimately I am just trying to really rein this in. I think the more I do trade on my live account, it is becoming more clear that I need to take this very seriously and really do just focus on how I'm executing, because you get paid by how you perform. You don't get paid with emotions. So yeah, so I think that's going to cover most of it, really. We've got the win rate percentage for longs and shorts, we've got break evens, positives. There are still positives from this month, granted, which is nice to see. What did I just do there? And still learning bits. One trade max and multiple trades in one day is still proven to be causes of losses. Those are the main points that have not been followed, and I've paid for that. I've paid for that price. So I just need to be more patient with it. And if I have a loser, then just call it a day. We can always come back. At least until, profitability actually starts to show consistently, then you can become a bit more lenient with it. But it all depends on my mindset personally, not someone else's mindset. And yeah, I think that is going to cover most of it, to be honest. I can imagine this is quite a long video now. It's like, 20 past 12. But yeah, trade safe going into tomorrow, guys, because as you know, with all this war going on, you just don't want to be going crazy. All right, you don't want to be going crazy. Just be cautious, because there could be some very unpredictable stuff happening. And one attack could completely shift the market another way. Likewise, good news could completely shift market sentiment bullish. So it all depends on what happens. Just got to be careful. We'll come back with a market recap tomorrow. Not sure I am going to trade unless there's a really, really clear setup. Just obviously due to the reasons I've just explained. So yeah, I think with all that being said, we take the learnings from last month and we come into March with a new mindset, new data to back up what we're doing. And yeah, I will catch you in a bit.